Hello and welcome to the Success Showcase. I'm your host Eric Lopkin with the Modern Observer Group, and with me as always is Chip Janiszewski from the Happiness and Success GPS. Chip, how you doing this week?
I'm doing great. How about you, Eric?
I am doing fantastic. This is a really big week for the Exvadio podcast network.
I hear. Tell
Yes. This is Success Showcase's 200th podcast.
Oh.
And at the same time, later this week, our sister podcast, Lighting the Candle, has its 100th episode. So we are celebrating this week with a giveaway for our listeners. We have put together a package of books, signed books written by some of our podcast hosts and guests. And you can go to exvadio.com/contest. Put your information in. One winner will be drawn at random to celebrate these anniversaries.
Wow, that's it. 200 episodes. What was I, like 20 years old when we started? I'm just kidding.
Something like that, yeah. It has been a while.
It has. So we have a really, really fun guest today. And you folks who are out there, if you're not hungry before, you are going to be when we're done with this today.
Yes. Our guest today is Susan, and I know I'm going to screw up the last name, and I apologize. So why don't you just introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Susan Pribyson. Don't worry, most people don't get it right. And then on the phone, they think I say Ferguson. So.
And Susan owns the Relish This food truck. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got started with the food truck?
Okay, I'm a co-owner of the Relish This food truck, where we serve traditional food items, but they are layered with different textures and flavors, and that's what makes us unique. We started in the middle of the pandemic in October of 2020. There was what you would call the perfect storm during the pandemic, where my job with a nonprofit went away. And my husband was getting ready to retire from the state. Prior to working 20 years with the state of Connecticut, he had been a chef. And we often talked about, oh, we should open a restaurant. We should do this or that. And then we saw the popularity of food trucks coming to Connecticut. And so we decided, let's open a food truck. And so we did. Kind of strange, but that's what we did.
And you did this in the middle of the pandemic. So, I mean, what kind of challenges did that pose?
Well, I mean, he was working from home at the time, getting ready to retire. So we had plenty of time to do it, but it took us 3 months to find just the right truck, because having been a chef, I guess when you're working in the kitchen, everything moves to the left until it goes out the window to the customer. And a lot of food trucks are not set up that way. And he really wanted it to be set up like a professional kitchen. And so we finally found one in Stamford, and they were called HAPA, which means Philippine American or Asian American. And that's how we got to our signature purple roll. Because when we kept calling down to people in Stamford and asking them about the HAPA truck, they didn't know that was the name. They just know, oh, the purple rolls, the purple rolls. So when we were cleaning the truck, we found their purveyor list and called the bakery and asked them if they would continue to make them for us.
Yeah, so tell us about the purple buns.
Purple buns. Yes,
They're always so much fun to talk about, and you see pictures of them on your website and so on and so forth. People absolutely love them, and they're very unique. So tell us the story behind that and how you got these. Obviously, you told about a little bit so far. So,
well, they're made out of purple yams from the Philippines, and we have an exclusive. I don't know if exclusive right or whatever it is for with the bakery in Norwalk. They don't make them for anybody else, and they won't make them for anybody else. And it's interesting when people, it's on our menu board that what they're made out of. But not everybody reads that. And so you hand out the order and they're like, oh, your rolls are purple. And it's like, and then we explain why they're purple. And a lot of people come back and tell us, wow, those rolls were really good. Sometimes children are a little fearful of a purple roll. You think they would love the color, but sometimes they're a little put off by the purple color. But for the most part, people love them. And during this economy, we're trying to make more shareable meals. So we took 2 of our items and turned them into sliders. And they were able to make purple slider rolls or buns. I mean, we have t-shirts when we're working that says, yes, our buns are purple. Relish them.
Yeah, obviously, this is something that you've looked forward to for a long time, and silver lining in the COVID cloud forced you into this sort of. But you seem to be having just so much fun doing this, and the testimonials that you receive all over the place is that, you know, it's got to be heartwarming, rewarding, very, very hard work. But it's just so wonderful that here you are, a success story after everything that's happened. You just pivoted very, very nicely and deliciously.
Thanks. Well, you know, someone asked me the other week about how is it that you're able to work with your husband in such close quarters? And my answer was, we have very distinct, separate roles. I am not a chef. I don't cook. My children, who were 3 and 5 at the time when I married CJ, or Chef CJ, were so thrilled because they know I can't cook. And so he cooked all the dinners when they were growing up, and they were so happy. So I don't dare get into what he's cooking because I don't know anything about it. I do sometimes comment on appearance because that falls into the customer service realm. And I'm in charge of customer service and the business end. And so he leaves that to me, and 2 separate roles. And as long as we stay in our lane, everything works out great. It had, you know, and that's one thing we say, if it's not going to be fun, we're not going to continue to do it. We call it our encore career, retirement career. And so it should be fun. It should not be something that you're miserable doing or that you don't look forward to. And we meet so many wonderful people where we go.
That's fantastic. Now, you said he worked for the state and was a chef before that. What did you do before Relish This?
My entire career was devoted in the nonprofit sector. Anywhere from substance abuse, mental health. My last position was helping what's called the underemployed, people that had a job but couldn't make ends meet. And they're often overlooked in the nonprofit world. So that was very meaningful.
Very cool.
So, and I mean, so my whole thing has been helping others, interacting with others, raising funds for causes. So that's why, I mean, I love being at the window and interacting and meeting people. And we also, I mean, I guess it's just in my blood. I mean, we did several fundraisers last year where we raised money for the Cancer Society. Our commissary kitchen is Hands on Hartford. And we donated a dinner for 25 people to their gala. Very excited about that because they decided to wait, and they're going to have us do a private party in their neighborhood for more than what we donated. So we will make some money on it, but Kentucky Derby party, which I love the Kentucky Derby. So that's going to be a fun event. We will change the titles of all of our items to the horses that are in the race. So
very cool. You could make a little purple derby.
There you go. We'll have to see which jockeys wear purple, and we'll give them the best items.
Yeah, so you talked about doing fundraising events and so on and so forth, and you have a wonderful website that explains everywhere that you go. It says where you're available for, and you actually have a calendar telling everybody where the truck is going to be on a daily basis. And it looks like, you know, you got a whole lot of places going on in the month of April, you know, everywhere from breweries and wineries to Yukon Spring Weekend and so on and so forth. So tell us about, you know, the events that you're doing and, you know, how to get a hold of you. And you also mentioned doing private events such as weddings and things like that. And We actually have a nice little article in your website talking about trend number 3 as far as wedding trends is laid back luxury and using food trucks for that too. So, I mean, you really not only started your business, but you're really outside the box with every way that you're doing things. So talk about that.
Well, I mean, when we started out, we went to contacting traditional venues such as breweries, wineries, and food truck festivals, and so we learned a lot during the first year, and we also did a lot of private events that we somehow people found out about us, and we went to several private schools, the colleges, did quite a bit at Trinity. And the nice thing about those events is that you have an agreed upon price and serving numbers before you go. Whether if you're at a brewery or winery, you never know if it's going to be crowded, and it's very much weather conditional. If it's raining, people don't like to come out. They'll come out in the snow, but not in the rain. I don't know why. And definitely the sunnier it is, the more people there are. But from there, we ventured into advertising that we're available for birthday parties, block parties, etc. And when we put it out there, people have found us, and then we're able to have some results to promote to others. So we're definitely moving in that area where we do more private events. We actually have 3 weddings this summer that we are doing. We're doing a repeat birthday party that we did last year, and other fun events. So they're exciting. You get to engage with people more on the private events than you do if you're sitting in a brewery or a winery.
Sure. So, we've seen the trend of food trucks just exploding over the last 5 years or so, maybe a little longer already. What do you think is the big attraction to going to a food truck or a food truck festival even, rather than a food court or a restaurant?
Well, I think it's less formal than going to a lot of restaurants. I know the food truck festivals, you have such an array of food, so many choices, which is part of the reason why we don't specialize in like tacos or just chicken or a certain ethnicity of food, because we want, if a family comes to our truck, we want something there for everyone rather than to have to go to 3 different trucks. And a lot of times we are the only truck. So that's been a plus for us. But that's the only thing I can think of. I think the continued, it's a little bit less expensive than most restaurants. I think that has something to do with it too. And where we are, I mean, breweries, a lot of them, they don't want a kitchen. They don't want to have to get into the food. So it's convenient for us to be there. It's a good partnership.
Excellent. So now you guys have your set menu. How did you decide on, you just said you didn't want tacos or something.
Right.
How did you decide on what your menu was going to be? Because you do have a wide range of choices.
That credit goes all to the chef. Although we do change up our menu from time to time. We did have somebody come 2 weeks ago. They came to our truck and they said, "Where's your crab cakes?" And we only have the crab cakes in the summertime. But that, I have to say, that's an item that I actually make. My husband does not make the crab cakes. I grew up going to Bethany Beach every summer in Delaware, and I learned how to make a true crab cake with minimal breading to hold it together. It's all crab, 95% crab. So they're popular. But we have had lamb burgers, duck burgers. We changed the fish that we have, instead of crab cakes, but we've also had halibut, you name it. We used to have a Korean chicken on there, and then we switched it to buffalo chicken. So we try and change it up so that it doesn't get too stale and predictable. The only consistent item has been our #1 seller, and that's the Relish This cheeseburger, where it's a bacon cheeseburger. So we put the cheese, then the bacon, then caramelized onions, and then a bourbon maple vanilla aioli. And that's, each one of our sandwiches comes with a special sauce that's house made by our chef.
And I think, didn't you show a video of how that was made at one of the networking meetings that we were?
Yes,
Is
yes.
there a video on YouTube that shows how you do that?
Not on YouTube. We probably should do that.
Yeah,
But yes, we have.
that it's amazing because I mean it's quite the process, and I mean some of the things that I can't exactly remember exactly what he did, but I was saying, wow, it's so efficient and so neat the way that he does it.
Yeah, people, it's that aioli that makes it so different and on the purple roll. But so many people come by the truck and say, that was the best burger I ever had. And we've been doing breakfast at the Gastro Park, and somebody asked for our breakfast burger if we would add that sauce to it, which also has an egg and corned beef. And they said it was wonderful. So we'll offer it as an option.
Now I'm hungry.
I know.
Guaranteed you would be. We're only halfway through.
Yeah,
Right. Oh no, it's fun. And you know, you have to, when you interact with the public, I mean, you guys know, sometimes people don't like what you have, or they have questions, or they have questions about your menu and it's right there on the menu. But you know, you have to be polite and always consider that they're a potential customer, and whatever goes wrong is going to be passed on more than what goes on right. So we always try and make it right for them.
That's fantastic. Now, of course, being in the food truck, you've got limited space.
Yep.
How have you been able to set everything up to make it easy for you to do everything?
Well, it's like I said, everything, it's like a professional kitchen where the food starts, everything moves left until it goes out the door. And we usually have a third person on the truck, which right now my son is working with us. So we're grateful for that. And he can take the role as a chef, but right now he's also doing just finishing, I call finishing the sandwiches. After it comes off the grill, he does all the toppings and then hands it out to me. So the order starts and ends with me, but we have it arranged so that everything just flows. One thing we do, which we started doing because it's getting warmer, unlike other food trucks, we send it out on a tray so that it's easy for people to carry.
Nice.
We did have an experience where some people actually threw the plastic trays away. They were not cardboard. So we have written on every truck, relish your food. When you are finished, please return the tray to the truck. Thank you. So, and that has been very helpful.
I'll bet. So basically, you've got a little circle going in there. The order comes into you,
Yes.
Everything moves around to the left until it gets back to you.
Exactly. And then it goes out the window. So it's
Very
great.
nice.
You know, relish this, a lot of people sometimes think that it's just a hot dog cart because they think of relish as traditional hot dog relish, rather than savoring your food or enjoying your food. So that has been one of the challenges, is getting people to understand our name.
Right, it's a lot more than just hot dogs.
Yes. A lot more than just hot dogs. Exactly. But I guess in Farmington Valley, there is a hot dog cart called Relish This hot dog cart. And we didn't even know that. So I can see why people might get confused.
Sure. So, on average, how many events do you do in the course of a month?
Anywhere from, a week, we do anywhere from 4 to 6 a week. We found that fall is actually the busiest time of year. And last fall was crazy. I mean, to have a day off, we didn't have a day off because on your day off, you're cleaning the truck or buying more food, etc. We did just recently bring on Mark, that works with intellectually challenged adults. And we have hired them. They bring out 2 adults and a job coach every Monday to clean the truck from top to bottom. And again, that's just, who could we have hired? But of course, I hired somebody within the nonprofit world. And they are a delight, an absolute delight. And the truck honestly has never been so clean. They do a great job.
That's
and
fantastic.
and it's nice because we know they're doing a great job for us, but we're helping them too.
Absolutely. Mark is a fantastic organization. It has sister organizations all over the country,
Yep.
all operating under the ARC name, helping folks with disabilities, learning disabilities, get jobs, keeping them occupied, really teaching them the skills. It's fantastic that you're able to give back that way.
Well, I mean, I'll share this. We had a daughter who was special needs. And so we had her in a private school. And before she passed at age 17, they were doing job coaching with her. And so we've seen firsthand how much it means to someone to be able to do something and provide value to somebody else. And it's just, it's hard to describe, but it just gives them such meaning and purpose above what it would give somebody else. And so we love doing that for these guys that come every week. This one gentleman, I won't say his name, but he's just so proud. And he loves our dogs. He barks back at the dogs. And sometimes we'll tell Chef CJ, no, I don't think you should do that. You should do it this way. So, but they're having fun, and we're getting our needs met beyond our expectations.
No, you have done a lot of nonprofit events too. And obviously when you first got going, I met you through the Avon, Connecticut Chamber of Commerce years ago when you first got going. And then you showed up, in West Hartford, which is big. Tell us about the power that networking has had on helping you grow your business. Obviously, it's a whole lot more fun because you've met some really, really wonderful people and characters and so on and so forth on the networking trail. So how this word of mouth thing has worked for you?
That is a great question, because I'm involved in more networking groups now than I was before. And if anybody had told me when I first changed jobs, I was going to leave the two networking groups I was in, and that was the Avon Chamber and a group called the Breakfast Club. And they were like, no, stay, we'll support your food truck. And every network that I belonged to, I went on to join the West Hartford Chamber and then the River Valley Chamber. And no, I'm the only food truck there. So it's been great because there's not a lot of competition. I get to share what I do, and I get to learn about other business opportunities that we can tap into, such as I forgot to mention, some of the private events we do are employee appreciation, where a company hires us to come and feed all of their employees. And I don't think I would have gotten those had I not done all the networking with all of the businesses. We are going to be working at the Travelers Tournament this year. And when they contacted us, they said somebody at Travelers told them about our purple rolls and that they should bring us on. So you don't know who you're going to meet, who they know. I think, Chip, you're the one that always says everybody knows X amount of people and, spread the word. So that definitely has happened for us.
Yeah, everybody knows 200. All I need is a couple.
That's it.
That's
right.
I've been going to the Travelers since Arnold Palmer played there. I'm going to be looking you up this year. You're the food court that they have there is just amazing. So
yes, yeah,
congrats. That's a nice one.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited. We were surprised when they contacted us. We were like, "How did you hear of us?" And he said someone high up in Travelers knew about our purple rolls and recommended us. So.
That's it. It's all about getting the word out, having people, not just for private events, but finding you when you're at different venues.
Right. Well, we do have a great social media person. You guys both know her, Jill Munson. So she does a great job. When she took over, it's been almost a year now. People were like, wow, you've gotten really good at social media. And I was like, no, it's not me. I'm terrible at social media. That's why I hired someone. It's not something that my mind just doesn't work that way. But that's okay.
Well, you got to give credit where credit is due. And of course,
Right.
long time listeners of the podcast will remember that Jill Munson has been a guest on this podcast talking about her work at the American Cancer Society. So this
Oh,
is
nice.
this is sort of a side gig for her.
Yep.
And we'll see about getting her back on the show soon.
Yeah, she has a new role there. So it's a perfect
Yes.
time. Perfect time. What else
So-
can I share with you, gentlemen?
Well, we're just about running out of time. So
Okay.
where can people find your truck over the next few weeks? Where are you going to be?
Let's see. We will be at one is, it's called The Mansions. It's a luxury apartment building in Vernon. We're there on Friday, and on Saturday we are doing a private event for a CrossFit organization called Land Warriors, and from there going to Almost Famous, which is a new brewery in East Granby, and they've had a very successful start. Then the next week we're at Hops on the Hill, which is nice because it's right here in Glastonbury. It's nice and close, and they are a member of the River Valley Chamber. And where are we on Friday? Probably back at the Gastro Park, and then again back at Almost Famous. So
Right.
should try Almost Famous. They're a great new brewery. They have a huge room, great atmosphere, and they've just really taken off quickly.
And of course, your whole schedule is available on your website,
Yes.
which is
relishthisfoodtruck.com. Nice and easy, but yes, we always have the month schedule up there, our menus there, several pictures are there, and at any event we go to, you can order online and pick your pickup time. Select your pickup time.
nice. So everybody should go find you and check out the purple buns.
Yes, please.
So Chip, what do you think is a big takeaway for this episode?
In the words of the Beach Boys, one of my favorite groups, it's just fun. And congratulations on doing what you're doing. And of course, you said you have two separate roles, so that's pun intended.
Right.
And but she's getting it. Erica's saying no. This is it. This is the last episode with Chip. Anyway, it's just so wonderful to hear your story of really making something wonderful that you've always wanted to do in the face of adversity, and just making it happen and sharing the joy with everybody that you've been in touch with through networking, through serving them, and so on and so forth. So congratulations, and just keep it going. Rock on.
Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being
This
here.
is great.
I think for me, the big takeaways are, one, it's fantastic that you were able to do all of this during a pandemic. And two, the fact that it's a second career for both of you. It's just a testament that, shouldn't really be such a thing as retirement. You need to be active.
Right.
And that's so important for folks. So I think this was a great way to show folks that you can do something you love, make a second career out of it, and just stay active and keep going.
Right. Exactly.
And of course, remember, you can enter the contest for our books. We have 3 books in the lineup. One called Spoil Your Pet from Jan Jeremias, who is a host on Lighting the Candle and will be hosting our upcoming podcast, Pet Talk with Jan and Tonka. We've got Tiger Tactics from Teresa DeGray, who was a guest on Success Showcase 2 weeks ago. You've got my book, The Biznetics Way. We'll see how many more we can put in, but go to exvadio.com/contest, join the contest, and celebrate all of our anniversaries. You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch us every week at exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. We'll see you then.